Well, my name, as most of you know, is Miss CJ. And raise your hand if you think you know what my job is. Maisie?
Speech.
The speech. So some of you might call me a speech teacher, but what I want to talk to you about is a little bit more of what I do. So here, you could call me a speech teacher. I help some of you kiddos and a lot of kids in this school learn how to say their correct speech sounds and be better understood. Or I might help them understand and listen to words to know what someone else is saying, right? Also here, some students may not be able to talk at all, and they may need a computer system or something to talk for them. So I could help them program that computer system so it can talk and tell their message to others. But also, did you guys know that I could work with babies all the way to older people like your great-grandparents? Did you guys know that? I'm going to read you a book, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about my job, okay? So this book is called Each Kindness. It's a really good book, and I'm excited to share it with you guys, okay? So let's be good listeners. Each Kindness. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. Let's see. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow. A strap on one of them had broken. So she wasn't dressed in the best clothes, was she? Our teacher, Miss Albert, said, say good morning to our new student, but most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. On that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and stared out at the snow. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and I didn't smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets to each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and tiny red ball she'd gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said. But none of us wanted to play, so Maya played a game against herself. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jack's champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend. Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, and the strange food she brought for lunch. Some days Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school: a deck of cards, pickup sticks, a small tattered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer. The pond thawed. Grass began to grow where snow had once been. One day, Maya came to school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and the dress looked like they belonged to another girl before Maya. "I have a new name for her," Kendra whispered. "Never knew. Everything she has comes from a second-hand store." We all laughed. Maya stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope, but did not come over to ask if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it double, rolled the ends around each hand, and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. She didn't look up once. Just jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Miss Albert had brought a big bowl into class and filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Miss Albert said. "Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple into the world." Then Miss Albert let each of us drop the stone in as we told her what kind things we had done. Joseph had held the door for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even mean old Andrew had done something. "I carried teacher's books up the stairs," he said. And Miss Albert said it was true. I stood there, holding Miss Albert's rock in my hand, silent. "Even small things count," Miss Albert said gently. But I couldn't think of anything, and I passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day, or the day after that. Each morning I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day Maya returned, and she'd look at me and smile. I promised myself this would be the day that I smiled back. "Each kindness," Miss Albert said, "makes the whole world a little better." But Maya's seat remained empty. And one day, Miss Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had to move away, Miss Albert said. Then she told us to take out our notebooks, and it was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all of the things I wish I would have said to Maya. Each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it, over and over, watching the way the water rippled out, away, out and away. Like each kindness, done and not done, like every girl somewhere holding a small gift out to someone, and that someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of kindness with Maya became more and more forever gone. So raise your hand if you think you know what the main point of that story was. Eli? Kindness. So it's really important that we be kind to everyone, even if they don't look like us or they might not be the nicest to you. It's important that we be kind to them, right? I think all of you are very kind boys and girls, aren't you? So, a little bit more about my job and why it's important to be a good reader as a speech language pathologist. That's a long fancy title, isn't it? So I have to know how to read because each kid that I see here, they have a plan, an education plan, and it tells me what I'm working on with them, how long that I see them, and a little background information. And that plan, their parents or their grandparents, they have to sign it to let me see them. The same at a hospital or a nursing home, they have a treatment plan. And I have to be able to read to see what has happened to this person, to why they're there, and what I'm going to be doing with them. So I need to learn how to read to be able to write those things and read those reports. I also write progress reports. So if you come see me, you get a paper every 9 weeks that tells how you're doing. And it tells that so-and-so is working great and they're learning their L sound. Or so-and-so is answering and asking questions perfectly. Also, like in a hospital, if you're learning how to swallow again or doing feeding therapy, I would write a progress report after every treatment session to tell how they did and what we did that day. Also, if an older person has had an accident and they forgot how to read and I can help them read, I would have to learn how to read and know how to read before I can teach someone, right?
Also get to work with great
people.
So
one thing I really like about my job is helping people.
I get to help
raise your hand if you think one day you might want to be a speech language pathologist. We work on our speech. Maybe. I might get to help people. That would be pretty cool. So here's some things that you have to do to become a speech language pathologist. First, you have to finish 1st and 2nd grade. Then you have to go to high school. You have to graduate high school. Then you have to go to college. And usually it takes about 4 years, and you have to graduate college, and then you have to go 2 more years and get your master's. And then you have to take a big test, and then you can become a speech language pathologist. So it is a lot of school, but it is definitely worth it because I really love my job and I love getting to come to school and seeing all of you guys. Thank you. And thank you guys. You all listened so well.